Do I need to show y'all ass how to recruit in this game? Maybe I do. Move this over for y'all so y'all can see. What's up, man? What's going on? I just want to know what... Cassidy, what up? Doing some recruiting on... Just want to know what kind of... Any other receivers on? Yep. 5-star dual threat athlete. Need that. Uh-oh, no? Carlos Rios, what up? Not bad, Road Dog on platinum. This guy's really over here. Reliable wide receiver with winning time. What's up, guys? What we doing? What we up to? College football this weekend. We got Iron Bowl. We've got Ole Miss. We got a lot going on. You know, let me just play somebody online so I can just talk to you guys. I think y'all enjoy that a little bit more. Run up them likes, man. Run up them likes. How y'all doing today? Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanksgiving. Best holiday of the freaking year, honestly. What are you guys' go-to plates? What do you guys like? Stuffing? Are you guys big turkey people? I'm not a very big turkey person on Thanksgiving. What tier are we going with? Let's go tier 3. Indiana tier 3, they're tripping. I don't know why that hasn't been updated. Ole Miss. Let me play with Trinidad. Let me play with a little Trinidad real quick. See what they got going on. You guys tap in, man. Hit the follow, hit the like. Let me know what you guys are up to this weekend. Nico Collins. Look, man. Good player. I don't know. Here's the thing. He's playing with Davis Mills right now. And so, as happily as I would like to say, oh, yeah, you know, get this guy in fantasy, whatever. I'm not a huge fantasy person, but I would say stay away from somebody like that. If you're trying to put, I don't know, the Texans in a parlay, I would probably stay away from them too. But I'm more a college football person. I like the NFL, love the NFL, but my thing right now is college football. I've been all in. If you check the page, it's a bunch of bets on college football. He's throwing some NFL, some NBA in there. You know, I'm a former basketball player myself. I'm always gonna love the NBA, but what we got Florida State. Interesting pick. What do you guys think about Norvell getting told that he's gonna stay? Because in my opinion, I think the guy should have been fired. Florida State is not this. I don't want to say. How do I say it? Florida State is not this job where.
Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17.
I don't know. My thing is you got to get rid of guys like that. You got to get rid of coaches who are just not advancing the program. You're not like a James Franklin, he gets canned, but a Norvell stays. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? That is just kind of not really how I would be rolling as an athletic director at a major school like that. Because think about it. Florida, they've passed you up. Or they've been past you up. You let Penn State dip. You can't let Penn State dip and then Penn State kind of like regain relevance again. I mean, South Florida, their coach is probably about to get a big job, so who knows, that school might go back to being kind of irrelevant again. But I'm playing that pitch. Yeah, we are on that. Don't nobody want the smoke in my comments, though. I play for money, too. So, what's the word? Send your PSNs. I'll play on Xbox, too. He went for it on fourth down like that? I'm over here looking at the live. I didn't even realize his ass just did that dumbass shit. My bad. I shouldn't curse on here. What's up? Mark with motion. I like that nickname. Or I like that username. Come on, man. It's too easy. Keywan Lacey. See him play in real life, man. This guy's the real deal. Keywan Lacey. Mizzou had him. And then said, fuck it. Uh-oh, my homie's calling. Yo. I'm on TikTok live right now. I'm actually playing. I'm playing somebody in college football right now. Who the fuck is calling? I'm just playing random on CPU. Can you hear me? I'm playing just a random on the CPU. Oh, no. He gonna do that dumbass shit. All right, bud. Can you hear me? What? Can you hear me? My bad, y'all. Somebody called me. I thought he could hear me. What's up, Kevin? Ian, Mark with Motion still in here. Broncos fan 12. Oh, gosh. Broncos fan. Somebody. OSU on top. Hey, OSU's winning that natty this year. I don't see anybody beating Ohio State. I mean, come on, man. Indiana is the second best team in the Big Ten. I don't see. That's supposed to be a block. What are we doing in college football? What are we doing? Oh, I should have cut that one outside. OSU on top. I like it. But here, I'll say this. How about this? Let me fix my seat a little bit. Ohio State, or not Ohio State, Texas A&M. Texas A&M runs the table. What? Who the fuck is this about to run the ball? I know y'all not seeing this right now. What is that? Oh, who is that? That is hilarious. Who is that? That is super funny. That must be a glitch. That's a real offensive lineman. I don't know. I mean, that's South Carolina gave me a shoulder. Here, okay. Here, and let me finish my point about Texas A&M running the table in the SEC. Do I think that they can beat Ohio State? No, but if they win the SEC and finish undefeated, I think their resume would be better. I think they should go into the playoff as the number one overall seed. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're better than Ohio State. I would say not right now at this moment. I'm going for this. Are you crazy? I'm going for this. I think Marcel Reed's a good quarterback. I think Julian Sand has the chance to be one of those like really efficient Tua Tagovailoa type quarterbacks where he wins a national championship, is in the run for 2 of them. Stats are crazy. Okay, so now get to my next point. I appreciate the interaction. Georgia has been my dark horse all season, and that's weird to say. Like Georgia being a dark horse, like that's not a real thing. They just been overlooked. Gunnar Stockton, he still has time to grow as a quarterback, so that's good for them. They probably need to reload at running back next year. I don't know what their depth chart looks like as far as Nate Frazier and Chauncey Bowen and guys like that. If they still have 1 or 2 years left of eligibility, great. You know Georgia's going to kill in the transfer portal. I would personally, my matchup for – that's touchdown. My personal matchup for the national championship would be Ohio State versus Georgia, Ohio State, Texas A&M. I would like to see Texas A&M and who is it? Texas A&M, Bama, Texas A&M, Georgia in the SEC championship. Yeah. I want to say that Georgia is definitely the best coach team in the SEC. Now, that game against Texas, which for all intents and purposes, that game was always going to be like that. Arch Manning was going to revert back to, I wouldn't say against Ohio State, against Ohio State, because that was an ugly game. But he was going to revert back to kind of the disappointing Arch Manning that we kind of knew of. Why don't you cover NFL? I've been focused on college football this year. It kind of came around first. He's throwing that seam route. Shoot, wrong guy. I will cover NFL when the season starts. It's getting serious now, but once the college football season ends and I can kind of really focus on the NFL and whatnot. And then you see my favorite team. You see who my favorite team is. I love the Jets, man. Yeah, college football. I think college, you see my team. College football this year. I would say college football. Wow, he just got out on me. College football the past 2 years with, Browns fan. Yeah, man, you guys QB look. Shout out to Shador, though. Shout out to Shador. College football the last couple years with the marquee games being pretty much from the beginning of September all the way up until the beginning of November. There's been amazing games every single week. Not to say that the NFL doesn't have amazing games every week, because there is. There's no such thing as an upset in the NFL, though, if you get what I mean. So college football, I feel like there is a bigger lane for it content-wise. If you go to my YouTube on First and Cam, you go to my TikTok, you see myself, you see my brother. We post TikToks all the time. It just is a better niche for us to kind of pay attention to. We do some betting, so like betting on betting on college football, then turning around and betting on the NFL. It's like, God dang, man, like how much money am I going to donate? So, woo, that is a great discussion, because not only, give me that. Oh, come on, man. That's a clip. I ain't never seen that animation before. That was tough. That's tough. Come on, bro. So the Vikings QB situation. You see what Sam Darnold is doing with JSN, and I know Justin Jefferson is sick watching that. But it's one of those things where the GM, the owner, whoever decided to take J.J. McCarthy, you have to kind of roll with that decision. And me being a big college football fan, I would have told you going into the draft that a guy who had All American running backs, All American offensive line, All American tight end, one of the top defensive linemen in the draft, a top cornerback in college football. I just named you 5 people / position groups that all were at an A+ for JJ McCarthy. And he had a lot of help. And the offense was an under center, hand the ball off, chip you away. Um, that's funny. I don't know how much they cheated, but I think they definitely had a lot of help when Harbaugh was there. And I think he might have gone to the NFL. 1, for a better situation. 2, the quarterback. 3, some sanctions that would have came down and been a lot heavier had he stayed. And Sharon Moore took over, and they couldn't really punish him as much. So I think that was very interesting. Dylan Raiola, I know he gets a lot of hate on here. Let me use him. But yeah, you got the Vikings situation. I wouldn't say it's, well, it could be worse than the Browns, depending on what you think of Shedeur Sanders. But J.J. McCarthy was below average physical trait quarterback, ever since he arrived at Michigan. He made a couple throws that were like, okay, but, NFL defenses versus college football defenses, guys, there might not be a bigger gap in sports as far as pros and collegiate than the defensive side of the football. Defensive line for sure, but the speed at which these linebackers and defensive linemen move is so much different than college. I mean, you have All-Americans in college that won't see the NFL field. All conference players that won't see the field in the NFL. It's just the way it goes. Did Michigan cheat? Like I said, probably. Here, okay, great point about the Browns coaching staff. I am not a Stefanski guy. I'm not. I can't tell you why. I don't know if I just don't like how the guy moves or if he just looks like he's kind of mischievous, up to something. I don't know. But the beard, I don't know what it is. I'm not a Stefanski guy at all. It's clear that the ownership and coaching staff have different opinions on Shedeur. I think Shedeur can be good. Let's talk about just Shedeur in general. Obviously, not a great athlete. The one thing that I've always looked at about Shedeur is that he does like to stay in the pocket. And he can take hits. Now, taking hits at Colorado versus taking hits at, in the NFC North is a lot different. His arm strength is going to have to improve. And I mean, you could say that about a lot of young quarterbacks in the NFL. But his arm strength is like noticeable. Come on, bro. God dang it. Yeah, Stefanski too conservative, but that's how he likes his quarterbacks. He wants his quarterbacks to fit in a certain system, and if you don't fit in that mold and you try to do your own thing, then you're gonna get the boot. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of these college coach or NFL coaches roll. I just think the problem with the NFL is that you have to draft a guy that you now mold your team around. Like the Chiefs draft Patrick Mahomes, and all of a sudden they have to formulate their whole scheme around him. And they did that, and they caught lightning in a bottle and ran it up for a bunch of years, and they still are running it up because they built their team around Mahomes. Andy Reid didn't get Mahomes and say, you know what, you're going to play like, I don't know, Donovan McNabb or anybody else that he's at. I mean, he had Michael Vick go and kind of transform into a whole different quarterback in his system, which it worked for Vic because he was getting older. But you draft a guy like Mahomes and you build a system around him. OSU or the team up north, dude, I mean, it's got to be Ohio State. Michigan at home, I love that for Bryce Underwood. I'll tell you that. I love that for Bryce Underwood because if he were to have to go in Ohio State last game of this season, the momentum that Ohio State already has, it'd have been too tough. I will say, my brother and I talked about this yesterday in our show, is that Ohio State has not faced a quarterback like Bryce Underwood all season. He's going to be one of the better athletes on the field. Now, you do have that was tough. You do have Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs. You know, when he takes that first snap in shotgun and looks across the line of scrimmage and sees number 8 and number 2 looking him dead in the eyes, it's going to get real. It's going to get very – that's a pick. Please throw it. It's going to get very real. It's going to get very, very real for him. So we'll see how he starts out. I mean, I always kind of go back to what did he do against a very elite defense that he played early in the season. I know it was like the second or first game of the year, but he went 9 for 24 against Oklahoma. So he can't start the game missing throws, short arm and stuff, getting sacked, not getting out of the pocket and keeping Ohio State honest, because that's the only way they have a chance. Yeah, there's just too many dogs on the defensive side. I agree. Like they're one of the better rosters that we've seen in college football in a while. And then when you have 2 guys that are going to be first-team All-Americans, 2 guys that are probably going to be first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, there's not much you can do. And then you have Patricia calling plays. Like, I mean, how dangerous can a defense get? What? Oh, my God. Be for real. Oh, that's supposed to be a stop. Whatever, man. The play calling is the only thing making us lose. You talking about the Browns? Shoot. I could tell you a lot of things that's wrong with the Browns. Myles Garrett, it's kind of funny how, like, he got paid, he's playing really well, but then people are like, dude, I should have challenged that. There's just no way. I don't know. The Browns, man, they are a couple of seasons away from being a couple of seasons away. They're going to need another star running back to come through there. Maybe Judkins is the guy. We'll see. But you're going to need a major OSU versus – oh, yeah, 4 years in a row losing to Michigan. Look, I think Michigan had a really solid 2 to 3 years – 2 to 3 years of recruiting. And I think Michigan got the right guys. I think Michigan won in the trenches, which is most important against Ohio State. And then Ohio State's QB play has been good. I just think that, like, momentum and I think play calling definitely does have a lot to do with it. We'll see what Ryan Day does this year. It's just weird. You know, he won a national championship but can't beat Michigan. Who was it? C.J. Stroud, who never beat Michigan or something like that. It's very odd. Mason Graham, yeah, and he destroyed last year, and he basically solidified himself as a top 10 pick off that game alone. My roommate who I live with is a huge Ohio State fan like you are. So, you know, he kind of said the same thing. What do you think, Texas or Texas A&M? Yeah, he's having a great year. I honestly, going into the NFL, I thought Mason Graham might be a little slow, a little undersized, but he's physical. He is physical as shit. So he's going to have an easy time in the NFL. Oh, wow, wrong play. He's going to have a good time in the NFL. As long as he can play alongside a guy, I'm not saying he has to play alongside Myles Garrett for the rest of his career, but if he can play alongside another edge rusher, he's going to have his fair share of one-on-one battles that he will win. Texas versus Texas A&M. Yeah, undersized. Texas versus Texas A&M. I'm going to A&M. The spread is 2.5. So I'm not, super confident in Texas A&M winning this game. But I will say that a team with their back against the wall, as Texas does to keep their SEC championship possible playoff hopes alive, when those teams are at home playing desperate, and Texas A&M, who could get to the SEC championship, Texas A&M could lose this game and the SEC championship and still get in the playoff, in my opinion. They probably would. So Texas is fighting for their life. I wouldn't be surprised if, Wingo goes for 70-yard, shout out St. Louis, he goes for a 70-yard bomb early, or that's a dot. There we go. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. Come on, guys. Quit playing with me. I think that Texas playing with their back against the wall is scary because a team that talented needs to play with some fire. However, I will say this: Mario Craver, Casey Concepcion, those guys are dogs, man. Those guys are good. A&M beating Texas by 10 plus. Look, like I said, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, those are two of my favorite players in college football this year. Like I said, Jets fan. Casey Concepcion or Mario Craver, we get one of those guys in the first, I don't know if those are first round guys. Let's say they are, or maybe first or second round. We'd love it. Jets got great draft picks. They've missed on some guys. Would love to put another guy, another playmaker beside Garrett Wilson. Texas A&M winning by 10 plus would, I mean, and you weren't on. Texas hasn't had one good game against a good team. You're right. They haven't. They're not. And then that's my thing. Texas, when they go up against a team that's very physical, they look kind of pedestrian. Manning was not ready for the starting job yet. I think this is his breakout year. Yeah, I think he's one more year, and he's gonna finish off his college career on top. Maybe not a national championship, but he's definitely gonna win a natty or be right in that race at the very end of the year. Next year, things will be super slowed down for him. We probably won't be facing Ohio State the first game of the year, so that'll definitely help. But let's get back to this Texas A&M Texas game because it's the game. It could be the game of the year so far. Give me that shit. What was I gonna say? I was on the show with my brother yesterday. I was on the show yesterday with my brother, and he likes Texas A&M. He doesn't like Texas against the pedestrian schools that they played, and even those bad schools they did play. Arch didn't look great. Now I think he's gotten out of his slump. I've talked about on this TikTok a couple of times where a lot of Arch Manning's yards have come from yards after the catch. You've seen the screen to Ryan Wingo. You see a lot of his receivers just making a bunch of plays. That's a bad throw. Making a whole bunch of plays for him. And I'm not saying that he can't make throws into tight windows, because he definitely can. But it's just when he gets pressured and his feet get tangled up a little bit, it's just not great football. I was leaning Texas because of the spread low. Yeah, when a team gets 2.5 points. Oh, come on, man! I gotta punt. 2.5 points for a team in this situation. I would lean to take the Texas money line at this point. You could take Texas plus 2.5 off of a game-winning field goal that Texas A&M wins by 1 or 2 points. But if you're going to do that, you might as well play with your money a little bit and take the Texas money line. I wouldn't be mad if anybody took the Texas 2.5 on their end. I know this guy not serious. I wouldn't be mad at it. I definitely wouldn't be mad at it. What other games you guys got this weekend? Iron Bowl, we didn't even talk about Iron Bowl. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I think that has a chance to be a really good game. Don't sleep on Mississippi State trying to ruin a good season for Ole Miss. The SEC Championship, Oregon can't beat Washington. All right. That Washington tape versus Ohio State in that first half, I'd go watch it. Oh, my God. What is he doing? I'd go watch it. I'm not saying that Washington is going to win, but that spread only being at 6.5 is letting you know something. It's definitely letting you know something. And that game's in Washington, I'm pretty sure. I'm telling you, these late November games, the shit gets spooky. I'm telling you, shit gets spooky in this late of the season. And that's why the Georgia Tech-Georgia game Georgia Tech losing to Pittsburgh the way that they did is so disappointing because this Georgia Tech game was supposed to be like playoff seeding implication. It was supposed to. I think Georgia Tech has a good chance of still getting into the. He's going for it on fourth down like that still. I think Georgia Tech has a chance to beat Georgia. Now, them losing to Pittsburgh, I'm putting Georgia plus 10, as a lot of you would like to do. But Oregon, going into Washington, they better be careful. They better be careful. Because Oregon won't have a chance to play in the Big Ten championship, especially if they lose, because it's going to be Ohio State, Indiana. I love Demon Williams from Washington. Great quarterback. DJ Jacoby, what up? Let me see right here. Let me focus on this game a little bit because this guy's not good. And it's 7-7, almost heading into halftime. Jesus. Oregon can't beat Washington. I feel like you're gonna regret those words, my man. I feel like there's a chance that Washington plays that game really good, really, really good. My man was in here going crazy on the Ohio State chat. I appreciate you, Ian. Wherever you went, hopefully you come back. Ole Miss gets upset. I think everyone is picking upset. I wouldn't be surprised if that game is close. Ole Miss has proven that their offense travels. Mississippi State is very vulnerable in the secondary, which playing a quarterback. Oh, my God, look at that block. Trinidad Chambliss is going to put up 300-plus yards. Personally, I've seen Ole Miss play in person, so I'm going to be super biased, but their offense or their team in general, and especially in the trenches, is not that impressive. So if the game is to be won and lost for Mississippi State, it's going to be starting there. I need to look at the injury report for Ole Miss because if they have some like decent guys out, then I think that this game could be interesting. In this era of college football, though, these rivalry games, they may not mean anything to like these kids, but what can happen is that the talent disparity really shortens up. And like, so these kids probably don't care that this is the Egg Bowl or that there's 100 years running of this rivalry. But what we will see in a lot of these rivalry games, ranked versus unranked, whatever the case may be, is that the talent disparity is very close. And the kids that are at Mississippi State were offered, oh my God, come on. Were offered by Ole Miss guys and, you know, vice versa. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for Mississippi State at home, not playing for SEC title game appearance, but they are playing for like just, you know, normal pride. That they come out and really give it to Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is looking up at the scoreboard and it's 14-0 with 3 minutes left in the first quarter trying to drive. You know, that's where these spreads get tricky because they don't account for, one, these kids being college kids, and two, these games where, you know, it's a last chance for a lot of these kids to put stuff on tape, especially if they're thinking about going into the transfer portal. There's so much to play for other than, yes, sir, we get stops on fourth down. Yes, sir. There's so much to play for other than, you know, Mississippi State not getting into the playoff or not getting the SEC championship. I wouldn't write a lot of these teams off if, you know, they don't have a chance to play for these title games. There's still a lot on the line for these teams. I've never used Nebraska on this game, but I like this O-line. DJ Jacoby, my guy just joined. Tavius Oliver, talk to me. Talk to me, man. What else you thinking? You don't think Oregon can beat Washington? Give me some other games you're looking at. Arizona State, Arizona. Those rankings changed after the Miami, Pittsburgh. I don't think we're talking about that enough, chat. I don't think we're talking about it enough. Miami versus Pittsburgh. There's a lot riding on that game. Miami loses, they're done. Pittsburgh wins, they got a shot to play in the ACC championship and a shot to make it to the playoff. And so the ACC is looking like, off that game alone, kind of depends on what happens. The ACC is looking at either one team in the college football playoff or possibly three with what Georgia Tech could do against Georgia. Because if Georgia Tech beats Georgia, they have to get in, right? They have to get in. Who do you think wins, Ohio State or Michigan? I'm going Ohio State. I will say I think this game is interesting, at least in the first half, because of Bryce Underwood's ability to just be a better athlete than most of the guys on the field for Ohio State. Ohio State hasn't played a quarterback like that. Or Michigan at home is a lot better than, Michigan on the road. Oh, my God, that double pass is coming. Come on, man. Whatever. Who's your team? Okay, so I'm from St. Louis, so Mizzou is naturally my team. But where is it? My younger brother, he's a freshman at Washington State this year. Hey, actually, if you go to my personal TikTok page, I posted a TikTok of him getting a lot of reps against Ole Miss, and he actually played pretty decently well. Got his first career tackle that game. It was like the third or fourth game of the year. He finally got in as a true freshman. So Mizzou, who started out as a really good thought, I'll say that. They started out as a really good thought. They have that easy start. Give me that. Come on. They have that easy start to the schedule that they always have, and then they start playing real SEC ball, and they kind of just – they had that big game against Auburn, fine. If they'd have beaten Bama, that game was very close. It's one of the toughest opponents it's one of the toughest games that Alabama's had all year, honestly, if you want to be real. If they win that game, I like that one. If they win that game, then Mizzou's, season projection totally flips because it gives them a confidence boost that they can beat anybody. Vandy, Tennessee, another overlooked game of the weekend. I really like this matchup. Dude, I kind of want to go Tennessee. I don't know. Pavia, good player. Vandy, they were rolling high. They still have a chance to make it to the playoff. Like, there is a chance. However, I do not want to be running the ball with Raiola right here. Hopefully he gets back healthy and turns into something, because I really do like Raiola as a quarterback. Kind of turned the page on him a little bit. I like Tennessee a lot. I like their running game. I think Aguilar has a real shot to outduel Diego Pavia. Thing is about I should have hit him earlier. Thing is about Vanderbilt is that they're one of those teams that plays up to their competition, which is a really good thing. You saw Tennessee versus Georgia was kind of low-key one of the bigger games of the season, and would have flipped college football on its head had Tennessee actually pulled out that kick. You saw how nervous that kid was kicking that ball. That ball had no chance. And I think if that game goes the other way, Tennessee's probably – I got through the way. Tennessee's probably – you think Florida will ever win a natty? Shit. Tennessee's probably like somewhere in the top 10 had they win that game and been riding the momentum of everything else. But that's a tough one. Cameron Stuckey, I appreciate the follow. I literally hit backspin, but that's all right. Appreciate the follow, Cameron Stuckey. Man, but yeah, I would say, it's at Tennessee. I would roll with Tennessee. I think the Vanderbilt story is kind of one of those things where we've got our teams that are set in the SEC, and the Vanderbilt story was good, but it just might be too good to be true to kind of make this little. See you at 5:30, yes sir. You think Florida will ever win a natty? Do I think Florida will ever win a natty? Here's my thing, man. Florida needs the right coach. You see what happened when Urban Meyer was there. I don't know how old you are, but when Urban Meyer was there, they were a contender. When they have coaches like they do, give me that. Come on. What are we doing, guy? What are we doing, guy? Come on, I really do this shit on the sticks. Billy Napier, who was riding on the fence of the hot seat for, predictable, right? Riding on the fence of the hot seat. If they were to get a guy like Lane Kiffin, which it doesn't seem like it's happening right now, it seems like Lane Kiffin is Ole Miss or LSU at this point, which I don't blame him. They need the right coach. And what sucks is that DJ Lagway was supposed to be that guy. And unfortunately, I think him not being as good has kind of turned away some coaches, because it's like, okay, is this guy going to transfer? Is this guy going to improve at all? Like, what is this guy doing? And I think he answered a lot of those questions this year. He was hurt. Team was bad. Coaching was bad. And it's kind of like a stay away at this point. Now, Evan and I, my brother, we were talking about this on our show yesterday, is that a lot of these kids will still commit to these schools and not these coaches. So no matter who's coaching at Alabama, they're going to get the blue chip guys. No matter who's coaching at Miami or Texas. I would go as far to say even USC for the West Coast, for those kids that dream of playing at USC. Oregon, same thing at this point in the 2010s and 2020s. I think that there's like these kids commit to playing to these schools, and there's still a big section of kids in Florida that dream about being a Gator. But the right coach is going to bring in the right talent in the transfer portal, which is how teams are going to make or break with their season. So do I think Florida can ever win a natty again? Yeah, but it's going to take a new coach and 2 or 3 recruiting cycles and then the right coordinators for everything to magically fall in line, because they don't have the momentum of Ohio State or Georgia. I would say Alabama, depending on what they get going in the postseason. Texas has a lot of postseason momentum. When you get teams like that, yeah, it's easy to say, okay, in the next 3 to 4 years in that window, especially with the certain recruiting class, we have a chance. But right now, Florida is looking like very average to below average in the SEC. I mean, if you're a Vanderbilt booster, alumni, any of that, you're seeing Vanderbilt pass you up. Like, let's be real here. You're not supposed to be Florida, or even I'll even throw Penn State in this example as well. Penn State gets passed up by Indiana. What are we doing here? So we're going to fire our coach. Florida, you getting passed up by Vanderbilt. You damn near got passed up by Mizzou. Texas A&M blowing you out the water at this point. So you can't be the president, AD of the school, and now the donors who are given NIL money. You're not watching these academic or schools that are way lower in prestige and pedigree pass you up and then get better recruiting classes and be in the running for better head coaches. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's weird how much this stuff can change, and I know that coaches preach loyalty to coaches. Cam mixtape versus Cameron. All right, but coaches preach loyalty, and then the next thing you know, they're out the door for the next gig. I get it. There shouldn't be much loyalty in sports anyway. It's sports. But what I will say is that these teams that are continuing to build and build and build on foundations and not being patient with their coaches are going to see real rewards for it. And, you know, we go back to Ryan Day, who was supposed to be fired after losing to Michigan again. He turns around in the same season and wins a national championship. You know, he's good forever there. He could lose to Michigan again this year, and he will be okay. So I think coaching in college really is more so about just getting the X's and O's and drop the right plays, but you have to do everything else so well, and everything else has to be on point for your program to be serious, because as a head coach, you have to good sack. As a head coach, there's so much that you have to do. and that just getting the right head coach isn't all that much. Kevin Beeman, what up? Mr. Nobody. I appreciate y'all on this live, man. Y'all keep questions coming. Who is calling me? Hold on, man. Nah, we on live right now, man. He gonna have to wait, man. Fuck. He's over here bullshit. See you at 5:30, rise above. My boy CP. That's out of here. Hell no. Who will win between Ohio State and Indiana? Buddy. Look. As a Jets fan, there's nobody that I want to see do better than Fernando Mendoza right now. I want him to prove to everybody why he should be. What is going on? Why he should be one of the top picks in the draft. I'm a fan of Fernando Mendoza. He wasn't a guy that I had in my top 10 going into this season as far as quarterbacks. I had Cade Klubnik. As one of the top quarterbacks going into this season, and you see what's going on down there. He might go undrafted. He's probably relegated himself to like the 5th round. Whatever. I think Ohio State's just too good. I think Indiana is a great football team. You talk about being well coached. That's probably the most well coached football team in America. So I will give him that. Yeah, he should win the Heisman. Can we have a Heisman discussion? Can we seriously have a Heisman discussion right now? Because please respond to me if I'm wrong or if I'm off base here. But we've gotten so far away from what the Heisman used to mean that I don't understand why a guy like Trinidad Chambliss isn't at either 1 or 2. D2 to Ole Miss to a top 10 ranking all year. He was the first SEC quarterback to throw for 300 yards in like 3 straight games. Or the first quarterback to do that in like 30 years. Ole Miss has been a contender all year. They've been a contender all year. And the guy just played D2. So like what? Why is he not even, he's like an afterthought at this point. Like he might be behind Diego Pavia at this point in betting odds. Oh yeah, you're tripping, buddy. This guy's fat. Oh shit. So Ty Simpson should not win it. That's a good point. I think I might need to turn that off. Sorry, the air conditioning just came on, boys. Let me go. Oh, let me sneak that in there real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. My bad, y'all. My bad. Ty Simpson should not win the Heisman because any Alabama quarterback will be great. I mean, sure. I don't think he has the resume to do it anyway. So I think that's out of the question. I never really liked him being at the top of the Heisman race over a guy like Fernando Mendoza. There was a lot of Ruben Bain smoke in the Heisman early on in the season, and Miami kind of fell off. Nah, man, but we could talk about Ryan Williams, his sophomore season not being the greatest, because I think their best player on offense is Jeremy Bernard. There's not a single team. I'm 28 years old. I'll be 29 next Tuesday. It's not a single team I've ever seen in my life in college football that would beat that 2019 LSU team. I think the 2011 or 2012 Alabama team with that defense, I think all 22 of their starters went in the draft or something like that in like 2 or 3 year span. I think that team would have a chance, but that offense was too good. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow. I mean, he's one of the best college quarterbacks we've ever seen. Like that 2019 LSU team was, it almost felt like they were cheating. They were so good. So good. But back to Ty Simpson. I don't know what he projects as an NFL quarterback. I think there's a lot to be desired with him. even this up a little bit. There's a lot to be desired with him as a prospect. I'll say that. I'll say that because his physical traits are just okay to me. Like, is he a C grade Kirk Cousins? How are NFL teams looking for that? I would like to see him be a little bit more mobile. That's my thing about Nussmeier, is that Nussmeier, you know, he's a smart guy. He's got the dad is an offensive coordinator in the NFL. You know, he probably knows the NFL language very, very well, but he can't move. And you see what happened at LSU this year with the quarterback. If they don't have a Joe Burrow or they don't have, you know, NFL wide receivers, then you need a quarterback that can move, like a Jaden Daniels. And I don't think Jaden Daniels was all that amazing at LSU, even though he won a Heisman. I don't really think whatever. We can talk about that in a second. But LSU is built to have a mobile quarterback. I think in college football in general, you just need a guy that can move. And obviously in the NFL, these guys are too fast in the NFL for you to just be a statue back there. At least you have to be able to move in the pocket. But God dang it. Good play. No, I'm not really sure how I grade Ty Simpson as a prospect this year in the NFL, but I would like for the Jets to stay away from him. Now, people might say, what's the difference between him and Fernando Mendoza? I guess we'll see. I think Fernando Mendoza's arm is a little bit better. But, you know, Ty Simpson is working with a lot. Now, the running game for Alabama this year has been a joke compared to what it's supposed to be, especially on paper with guys like Jam Miller and all that. The running game for Alabama has been a joke. You can go look at those stats. The last game that they played against whoever they just lost to, it was terrible. It was awful. Zachary, my boy AC, and this motherfucker, Garrett Nussmeier. Man, I'm telling you, Garrett Nussmeier. I just think that he was a part of the Cade Klubnik ilk, where it was just like, if this is supposed to be a lot more impressive this year, you had a really good year last year, but I don't think his team is as good as people wanted to say in the beginning of the year. And look at Clemson, not even ranked. They start off the year 0-2, and they looked horrible. And Cade Klubnik didn't look like he improved last year at all, even with NFL talent spread all over that team. Peter Woods and T.J. Parker are two of some of the best defensive players in all of college football, and their defense looks like shit. Garrett Nussmeier, kind of this good play. Garrett Nussmeier, he doesn't have all world receivers that he's throwing to. His running game is decent, but it's kind of one of those things. It's just kind of a poorly coached team. Brian Kelly's now gone. You kind of see what happened with LSU as the season went on, and then them falling to Vanderbilt the way that they did, and Vanderbilt controlling that game. No, you gotta pack it up, and then you gotta hope that somebody in the transfer portal, or you get a big time recruit at quarterback, comes in and he can play. Because I'll tell you what, Bryce Underwood had been on that bench at LSU, Garrett Nussmeier would have been out of there at the third or fourth week. So he better be happy that Bryce Underwood wasn't sitting there on the bench, because those fans would have been calling for him. Now, I don't think you pay a kid that much to sit on the bench as a freshman either. Like, I don't think there is any way that you could pay a kid all that money and he's not playing the first moment he's there. Because the first moment that somebody messes up before him, he's getting yanked. So I like him going to Michigan and playing his first year there and not having to sit behind anybody, because that's what this business calls for. I had some decent people in the chat today asking questions. I love it. Big Jeff, what's up? Yeah, that was bad. I'm over here worried about, this offense is horrible, man. I don't like this offense, but whatever. I don't like these wide formations, guys. I'm not a fan. Got him. Oh, yeah. Come on, chat. When I lock in, special things happen. will Notre Dame be good this year like last year? Tell you what, Jeremiah Love, another St. Louis guy, he is. I mean, I tried to like not call him the best back in the nation for whatever reason. There's a couple of guys that I do like, but he's the guy, man. I mean, he is special. I wonder what he'll be in the NFL because he's so tall, and they'll be able to use him in the passing game because he's just a good athlete. He can catch, but I'm not really sold on Carr, the quarterback, and I don't think Marcus Freeman. I don't know if he can win big games. I don't. He got the team to the national championship last year, so they had to win some big games to get there. Don't get me wrong. But C.J. Carr, the quarterback, I just think he needs a little bit more time. I think that defense is pretty good. They lost a lot on town on defense last year, especially in the secondary. If you go back to that game against Texas A&M, beginning of the season, I know they're a whole totally different team now, but they got carved up by good wide receiver talent. They got really carved up, and I think that could be a story for good play. I think that when they get to the playoffs, they'll be playing against teams that they haven't played all season. They'll have come off games against Navy and whoever the hell else they've played, and they're gonna get hit in the mouth pretty hard. They're gonna get hit in the mouth. Wow. They're gonna get hit in the mouth pretty hard that first round of the playoffs, and so we'll see what happens because they're not getting a bye. So they're going to match up and probably have to go. They're probably hosting a playoff game their first round because the playoff committee just loves Notre Dame, and that's how they're going to reward Notre Dame for being Notre Dame. They'll probably give them a playoff home game. I'd love to see them go on the road because that would be a big test for Franklin, for all those guys. So that's a good question. I do like that, but I'm kind of skeptical on them a little bit. They lost to Miami, who Miami looked good in the beginning of the season. Now they're fighting for their life in the ACC. But I think Jeremiah Love, had he started the season the way he sort of like finished it, he'd be in that Heisman conversation as well. Maybe he is in the Heisman conversation, but he's not winning it. It's a quarterback award this year for sure. Surprised we don't have any receivers getting into the Heisman race this year. That kind of surprised me a little bit, but I digress. That's a wrong read, buddy. Let me get a nickel because he's throwing it. Appreciate y'all. And it's live. My boy Ian was asking some great questions. I'm over here typing. There we go. Keep them contained. What are we doing? What? What are we doing? Whatever, man. Y'all run the likes up on the live. Let's get some more people in here. Let's talk some more college football. Give me some of your betting questions if you got them too. I don't claim to be the best bettor in the world, but I do enough research and I do watch enough to give you some really good insight if you need it. We'll be doing some NFL betting when college football starts to take a little bit of a dip. I might make a couple videos on a couple of TikToks today, or not today, but on Friday or Saturday when I see some of those lines. NFL, though, you can't go. Wow, excuse me. You cannot go into betting in NFL without at least taking a full, hard look at the injury report and what's really going on. Because I tell you what, those NFL injuries are nothing to play with. Okay. My live was
Follow me.
my live was jumping a little bit.
Abby, I just followed you. What you say, cuz?
I said my live was jumping. I had a bunch of people asking questions.
That's what I'm saying, cuz.
I just been on here for a minute. It's fun. When people
Sweet.
like, yeah, I'm still on the live. People,
Okay. Let's play. Let's play.
oh yeah, I'm in the middle of a game right now. I'm actually losing. I might just quit it.
Bro,
Just
Abby, I thought you had unfollowed me. Swear to God, I thought you unfollowed me. That's the only reason I unfollowed you. Because I was looking and you didn't
that's
answer.
tough, Dampier. We got us
That's good. That's
wide.
good.
Kiso 9, what up?
On God, I thought you unfollowed me, bro. Because I was going through my followers and I did not see your name.
He's too
I don't gotta lie
fast.
about that. Like, it be people that be popping up on my followers that I
Need y'all to
follow that I
join.
don't follow. I don't know what that means. Eve, what's the word? Jay, what's the word? I just got a cut, y'all. I feel good right now. I ain't had a cut in like
Dude, I hate this controller. It's got the stick drift on it, but my mic.
3 months, y'all.
3 months.
Bro, I swear I ain't got a cut in like 3 months.
Sorry, Kermizi. I like that name. That is dope.
She said you was not him. Are you dumb? Google me. Fuck you tomorrow.
Come on, guys.
Finger me, what?
What's the kind of freaky shit you got going on?
I feel like, damn. I ain't never said I was him. Hey, tomorrow.
Oh, he's open.
Lauren, what you got going?
Let me get another timeout. Let me get another timeout.
Comments your craziest story. What's your craziest story? Damn, bro, I got a cut in my mouth. That shit hurt so bad.
Those suck.
But anyway,
I like it.
I'm about to do this story tomorrow about when I was in Spain. My agent was like threatening me. Fight. Shit finna be fighting. I gotta go back to Germany, though.
I don't know if I was in or out.
For me today.
Really?
I swear. Destiny was the word. Appreciate you coming in. It wasn't enough paper though, bro. Like, I don't even be trying to waste these niggas' time. I literally told bro, I said I appreciate the opportunity.
I really just got stopped on the goal line like that.
Lately I've been killing the vibe. Pull up skirt, hop in the right.
That's crazy.
I got 8 cat burgers.
You tricked that up, yeah.
I gotta look up those numbers on here.
Fuck 2K. You think Drink is gone next year? You talking about Drinkwitz from Mizzou? I don't. Here's my thing about Drinkwitz. I think he's an okay coach. I think he helps himself out with scheduling these weaker teams in the beginning of the season and then seeing what happens in SEC play. But if he has an offer to go to Penn State or it's another one of these schools, he's taking it. Bro, are you kidding me? He's taking that offer, and he'd be dumb not to be honest with you. Do I think he's the right coach for Mizzou? Yeah. Do I think that they can do better? Yes. I do think that Mizzou can do better with the head coach. Oh, he burned his ass. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I think Mizzou can get can poach a coordinator for one of these bigger schools like a Florida or Bama or Georgia, and they can get a guy like that to really come in their program and change things around and bring winning culture into the program. So, do I think he's gone? only if he wants, but Mizzou will have him back if that's what he wants to do. Shit, that's a good play. Damn. Gotta hit on those throws, man. That was supposed to be a touchdown, and he fucking overthrew it. Good Lord. I think it might be off this live here in a second. Yeah, I'm about to turn this live off and restart it over.